Welcome back, friends. Arlet here with a Reddit relationship story. A very unique story compared to most that I do in this channel. It's one of the most wild ones I've ever heard. I can't even believe this is true. But anyway, so this guy's 26 and he says, "This morning my best friend Adam, who's also 26, texted me that I effed up and our other friend Tom, who's 27, is furious. I go to meet up with them and I met with a poor attempt at a punch and a kick from Tom. Oh, poor Tom, bringing the weak sauce. He and my best friend Adam explained that I had slept with Tom's wife behind his back for years and that all three of Tom's kids were actually mine. I laughed and I said, 'You're crazy,' because I don't even like his wife, not in that kind of way or even as a person. She's been a Karen since I've known her, and to be honest, I felt like Tom could do way better than her. She isn't ugly, but let's just say she's too flat where it matters." That's hilarious. So apparently his wife, Natalie, I don't effing care, I'll name drop her, she's 25, admitted to him that none of his kids were his and that they were mine. She broke down and told him after Tom joked and said that he felt like getting a paternity test since all his kids looked too much like Natalie. Well, she's the mom, why wouldn't they? I told him that she likely did cheat and is protecting the real guy and is blaming me to make this whole thing worse. He started trying to attack me again, so I had to restrain him. I told Tom I'll even get a paternity test and show him that I didn't do anything to his flat cardboard having wife. Oh man, he's really hurting this guy. So we go to Tom's house and confront his wife. She said that I was the father and that we've been in love for so long and whatnot. I told Adam to go take the kids into the backyard because this wasn't something they should hear. I said, "Alright, bet. Let's get this test done and I'll prove to Tom that this is just plain absurdity." I took Tom and Adam out to the park and asked Adam to mediate. We had a long talk and came to the following conclusions. 1. I'll take a lie detector test to show that I was never with his wife before the paternity test. 2. Let's go get a statement from Natalie on record of her saying that she loved me and that there was no violation of consent just in case she accuses me of something. 3. Let's figure out when I would have hypothetically her if I was the father. And 4, get the paternity test done after all the things I just mentioned. He says, "We've agreed to do so and currently I'm trying not to panic because I'm thinking of things that I don't want to be true. F you, Natalie, you evil flat monster." I honestly don't even know what to do if it comes out that I am the father. I haven't slept with her, let alone be in the same room with her without involvement or at least one or more other individuals. Oh lord, he's afraid that she might have somehow baby trapped him without him knowing? I've thought of every possible angle that I could for this situation. She wouldn't want me to get a paternity test if she was lying, so now I'm wondering how the hell I would have fathered those kids and I'm so lost. I'm praying that this is some sick joke my friends are playing on me, and I'll try to update you all if something significant occurs in the near future. I need to get some sleep for now and not panic. Bro, I know you think that she wouldn't want you to get a paternity test if you're not actually the father because it would obviously prove or whatever, but have you not seen the Steve Wilkos show? People go on there all the time, take tests, claim that they're not this or they are that, and it always comes out that they're lying, and they still will blatantly lie. Why would you go on TV and do this if you were lying? But anyway, he's got an update here, so let's see where this goes. So he says, "The lie detector test gave me the following results. That I had never slept with Natalie, according to me. Natalie did sleep with me, according to her. What the F? We all were so confused and came to the conclusion that this was a failed test. But I kept the results in mind because ain't no way my brain just put 2 and 2 together. I was freaking out." Wait, what? What does that mean? I don't think I read that right. After we got back to Tom's place, I talked to Adam and Tom and told them my theory. They didn't believe it, but I said it couldn't be possible. My theory was that she stole my rubber somehow and did this to herself. I gave Tom the range in which we should have done it, and we started to check the years of footage that Tom stored. Natalie has never been to my house, but I have slept with my girlfriend in Tom's house. Tom has cameras in the house and records all the footage that saves up to about 2 years worth of footage before deleting old footage. Tom and Adam agreed that I could not be the father of the twins based on my location during their conception. So we asked Natalie and told her my theory, and now this is what she said. She said, "Tom's not the father of my kids. I'm the father of just the baby, but I should take responsibility." She just contradicted herself since she first said I was the father of all 3. She said I need to man up and own to what I did. I told her I think she did this to herself, if anything, and obtained my man juice without my consent, and that I'll press charges. Then we just started yelling at each other. She asked how I would even have evidence for that, which was a major mistake because I'm recording the whole convo. I said I'll start by looking through Tom's home surveillance footage around the time that the baby was conceived, and she became visibly angry and then went crazy, shouting and the whole deal. Then she said if I did any of that, then she'll claim I you-know-whatted her. I told her I recorded the whole thing and thanked her for the evidence. She just shut up then and locked herself in the bedroom. Yeah, she doesn't sound like she's too smart. We started looking through the footage of Tom's house to see when she might have done this to herself, but found nothing until I remembered that I crashed at his place when my house was under renovation. My girlfriend would visit me at their place from time to time, and we were intimate with each other, so I thought Natalie might have done this around that time. Also during that time, I had started to drink a lot, so I became really careless. Yeah, well, who would have expected somebody to do this? Again, to our surprise, we found nothing. She visited me on Mondays and Wednesdays at Tom's during that month, and in the whole footage, we found nothing. Apparently, she always swallowed. I asked my girlfriend, and it's been that way since we started dating, so now I'm confused as to how Natalie got the baby juice. Then Adam finds footage of a night in which Natalie left her room and returned after an hour or so. We tried to find the footage of where she went and found that she went to the living room where I slept. You can see us talk for a while, then she goes into the kitchen and gets me a drink. Then I saw myself collapse as she laid me on the sofa. Then I saw her removing my shorts and you-know-whatting me. Bro, how would this girl think that she was gonna get away with this when it's literally on camera and she knows she lives in a house where there's full surveillance? Like, this must be the most moronic person on the planet. And to all the women out there who are constantly demonizing men and saying that they're this and that, even though the story's probably fake, this kind of stuff happens to men too. This kind of stuff actually happens more than you would think. He says, I was shook, and so were Tom and Adam. I honestly didn't know what to say, and I just made a copy of the footage and saved it just in case. Tom then rushed to Natalie and tried to attack, but we restrained him. Yeah, again, like I always say, you have to be in control of your emotions. You must be stoic at all times. Do not allow people to get the best of you, even in a situation like this. Control yourself. It's for your own good. And apparently Natalie's. He says, we asked Natalie to tell us the truth, and she revealed everything after I told her we saw the video. I recorded our whole conversation. According to her, Tom is an ab user, and she hates him. She caught Tom cheating but was too scared to say anything because of how he is. She wanted revenge, so she decided to cheat on him. Yeah, well, she technically didn't really cheat. She went to a man juice bank for the twins but felt bad after they were born because Tom was changing as a person. She wanted to tell him the truth, but found he was still cheating, so she was furious and decided that she was gonna cheat. Again, what she did wasn't technically cheating. She always found me attractive and tried to seduce me, but it didn't happen. I don't remember her doing this to me. Every time I remember being around her, there was always a third person present. So I guess she decided to do what she did to have my child. I legit just left after this and haven't spoken to either of them. I told Adam to stay there just in case Tom goes crazy and try to do something to her or the kids. I'm currently talking to a lawyer about everything and I'm just lost for words. This might be the final update because y'all might see this on the news based on how everything's going. I can't truly do anything until the paternity test comes back. Let me know if you have any serious advice. I'm so messed up right now. But I do have all the evidence I need, so I'm not worried for any reason. Yeah, that is a wild story if it's the truth, and the only thing I can recommend is definitely get yourself a lawyer, because this sounds pretty bad even though you do have all the evidence. But that's all I can say about this, so let me know your opinions down in the comments or click like for the algorithm, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into the next story. So she's 47 and her husband is 65. She says, I've been married for 10 years. After my husband's retirement party, the discussion of wills and inheritance came up, and my husband informed me that he's leaving our marital home to his daughter who's 30. This left me feeling completely blindsided and shocked. I'm aware that due to our significant age difference, I'll most likely outlive my husband by many years and will probably have to spend the last decades of my life alone. So I was really upset but also angry to learn I will most likely be kicked out of my house after my husband passes away and left homeless. Well, if he has insurance or other assets, no you won't, you just buy another house. And how much you want to bet that this woman doesn't even work? She says, my husband explained to me that I knew the house belonged to his late wife who inherited it from her parents and that I couldn't possibly expect him not to leave the house to their daughter. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I replied that the house now belongs to him and as his wife, I have a right to my marital home and it's not fair that I'll be kicked out of my house after I spend so much time and effort redecorating it and making it my own and becoming homeless after his death because I'm a housewife and have nowhere else to go. He has an obligation to ensure my financial safety after his death. Good lord, can we put a period in here? That sentence ran longer than Forrest Gump. But as far as what she actually said in that paragraph-long sentence, how does this woman actually expect that this guy's widowed wife's family's house belongs to her? I mean, the entitlement here is mind-boggling. And I love how she says that the reason it should belong to her is because she redecorated it. It's like, yeah, you slap some paint on the walls and put up a few flowers and now you deserve an entire house. That makes sense. But she continues, he said that it will be incredibly unfair to his daughter and his late wife if I inherit the house, and his wife would have never wanted that. Yeah, I don't blame her. His wife passed away unexpectedly at a relatively young age before she got around to making a will, so my husband automatically got the house as per inheritance laws. He also explained that I'm the sole beneficiary of his life insurance and any savings left will be equally divided between me and his daughter. That's what I said. You'll have more than just the house. However, I don't think this money would be enough for me to survive the rest of my life, especially as my husband plans on having expensive cruises and holidays for the rest of his retirement. Okay, well then work. Save some money. She says, this is where unfortunately our argument escalated and we started yelling at each other. I told him that he's screwing me over after everything I've done for him. What? Decorated? After I gave up my job and my career for him to look after our home, and that I deserve to be compensated. Okay, here we go. So your love only comes in exchange with a cash out after this guy passes away, which, given that he's 20 years older than you knew what you were doing going into this, so like I figured, this woman doesn't want to work, she just wants to live on Easy Street for her husband's entire life and long after. And I love how she says, after all I did for him, taking care of the house or whatever, it's like, you don't even have kids. How much are you really doing that he should give you an entire house because you what? Vacuumed once in a while? I'm sure this woman does barely anything, yet in her mind, she thinks that she's going above and beyond just for merely existing. I guarantee you what she's actually thinking when she says this is, I sacrificed being with a younger guy so I could be with an older, wealthy guy that's gonna take care of me for the rest of my life. And now that I'm finding out that might not happen, I feel like I wasted my time. In her mind, the sacrifice was just her being with him in general. Just her time in general to her is a major sacrifice. And this is the mentality of most modern women. They think that just their mere presence has some sort of immense value, when the reality is, oftentimes they bring very little value or an expense. They want to spend your money, drain you emotionally, stress you out. And the fact that this woman says, I gave up my career for you, it's like, okay. The fact that you quit your job and got to sit around the house decorating all day, somehow that's a benefit to him. It's like, no, it was a benefit to you to not have to work because he's taking care of you. The fact that she's considering this some sort of effort on her part is absolutely backwards and ridiculous. She's like, I did everything for you. I sat around, I never worked, spent a bunch of your money and went on a bunch of free vacations, and this is how you repay me? She said, he responded that he never asked me to become a housewife and it was completely my own choice. Oh yeah, that's shocking. That I knew the risks and benefits and made an informed choice that he'll be leaving a reasonable inheritance, so if I'm not happy with it, I should go back to work. Yeah, sounds like this guy's got his head on straight. I told him I never knew that I wouldn't get the house and that this is too late for me to return after not having worked for 10 years. That he's an a-hole for leaving me stranded like this and that this is not what I agreed to and he's being a sexist prick by not recognizing my contribution to our family. Oh, here we go. This guy's a sexist prick because you don't want to work, you want to go on free vacations, sit around and decorate all day, which is absolutely unnecessary. I guarantee this guy could care less about your decorating. He was probably perfectly fine with the way the house was before you ever even came into the picture. You chose to decorate, you chose not to work, you chose to have this simple, easy lifestyle, and now you're just angry that you can't continue living it after he's gone, although maybe you still can, and take ownership of a house that didn't even belong to him or you. She says, he laughed in my face, saying I never had any kind of financial contribution, as we hired cleaners and housekeepers to do most of the chores, and if anything, I was draining all the money I spend. What? This woman is really complaining that she quit her job so that she could take care of their house and everything and do all this stuff for him. She made all these sacrifices and they have housekeepers? Are you kidding me? What is this woman actually doing? This is even worse than I had imagined. And now that I know that they can afford housekeepers and all this, it truly shows that this guy is way more well off than I even thought he was. And his insurance is absolutely going to be enough for her. Whatever she's going to inherit is going to be enough. But of course, in her mind, it's never enough. This guy has every right to laugh in this selfish, ridiculous woman's face. She says, honestly, at this point, I was so enraged and in tears. Yeah, of course you were. I screamed at him that he's being completely cruel to me. Pfft, okay. And locked myself in the guest room. So all I want to know is, am I the a-hole for wanting the house if my husband passes away before me? Yes, you're absolutely the a-hole. I don't know how you couldn't have seen this for yourself, but that just shows me you're even more of an a-hole that you even have to ask this question. But the funny thing is that there's actually an edit down here where she comes to terms with the fact that she knows she's the a-hole based on, I'm sure, what a bunch of people told her, just like I am. And she says, okay, I get it. I am the a-hole. I'll apologize to my husband and try to look for a job. This time, something not so stressful and something I will enjoy and build my own savings. Okay, here we go. So the truth reveals itself. She didn't quit her job to take care of him or whatever nonsense she tried to feed us. She was stressed out, she hated working, and she decided to quit because she just wanted to be lazy and not have to work. Now I think she's even more of an a-hole than I did before. She says, I don't want to divorce my husband and take half. Okay, so obviously there were a bunch of women in the comments comments like always on Reddit, giving terrible advice, saying ridiculous things. She says, I honestly didn't marry him for the money. I didn't even know he was wealthy until 6 months into our relationship. So were you married 6 months into your relationship? I doubt it. Honestly, when I met him, I was done with dating and so jaded with men after being cheated on quite a bit until he came along and honestly kind of swept me off my feet. He was so thoughtful, kind, loyal, and rich. No, she didn't say rich. I made that up. Loyal, and our political opinions just matched, so we saw the world in a similar manner and I never thought I would blah blah blah. We don't care. She says, I used to work in customer service. No wonder you wanted to quit. In my last job, I was a 911 call handler, and yeah, it was really bad for my mental health, and I made minimum wage. Okay, so of course you quit. Everything about you quitting was completely a selfish move. Stop trying to act like you did so much for your husband by quitting. This is insane. She says, my husband encouraged me to do something I enjoy instead, and he saw how stressed out I was, but instead of doing something that made you less stressed, you decided just to quit and be no stress at all. She says, I did intend on finding a more relaxing job, and honestly, yeah, I enjoyed being at home and pursuing my hobbies and doing things at my own pace. Yeah, you sat around, decorated, and did jack. That's what I knew. She said, I admit it was a really comfortable life, and I let him financially take care of me and become financially dependent on him. Of course. I knew this from the first minute you started speaking. I grew really attached to the house, which I wouldn't have done had I known it wouldn't ever be mine. Okay. And then she says a bunch of other nonsense I don't care about. I'm tired of this woman. But anyway, what do you all think of this situation? Was she the a-hole? Let us know your thoughts in the comments and click like for the algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video and check out my main channel for more life and relationship topics. Till then, hope y'all take care of yourselves, support and be good to good women. Peace.